How can I learn English on my own? This is the question that you keep asking me, so I've decided to share with you the methodology that I believe is the most effective for obtaining a good level of English. I've taught English for 9 years now in 3 different continents, countries that include the UK, Japan, Peru and Spain. And I've noticed the education system is failing when it comes to teaching English. They don't give you the right tools to help you advance in a language. The only thing they seem to be concerned about is teaching you grammar, assuming that the more grammar you know, the more fluent you'll be in English. It's simply not true. I started my own language journey when I was 24 and I made the same mistake. I bought a Japanese grammar book, I did all the exercises, but I still couldn't communicate. Fast forward to now, I'm 32 and can hold my own in Spanish and Japanese. So I want to let you know what I've learned from both teaching and learning languages. But the first thing I want to make clear is that learning a language takes time and effort. Plain and simple, if you're learning something similar to a language you already know, like going from Spanish to English, you're looking at around 6 months of consistent practice before you feel comfortable having a decent conversation. Now, if you're jumping into something quite different, like going from Japanese to English, you'll need to buckle down and commit for a good 2 years before you're able to easily switch between different topics with fluency. For me, fluency signifies the ability to understand others and convey your thoughts naturally across various subjects. Now, this video is going to be broken down into 3 stages: the beginner stage, the intermediate stage, and the advanced stage. If you're new to learning a language, you're at the beginner stage. Your main aim is to pick up new words and form simple sentences. That's it. In English, this could be making descriptive sentences in the present simple or talking about daily habits. In this beginning stage, you will want to have some kind of structured guide to provide a foundation for you to build on. This could be a textbook, it could be a podcast. I recommend that you listen to something fairly short like BBC 6-Minute English, so you don't feel like it's overwhelming, and of course, it's short, so you can listen many times. Also, Oxford graded readers are great books to read. They start at an A1 level and go all the way up to the highest level, C2. The fact that you learn new words in context alongside pictures will help you to naturally understand how to use them for yourself. If you can find a graded reader with audio files that you can download, even better. Whatever resource you use, make sure you are speaking a lot. Studying grammar will help you to understand how the language fits together, but you actually need to practice using the language as soon as possible. In other words, make sure to repeat the pronunciation of words that you hear in the podcast that you are listening to. At this point, just repeat single words instead of whole phrases. Okay, what else? As you are studying with your graded readers or your short podcasts, make sure to write down useful vocabulary whenever you come across them. I personally prefer to buy a notebook and write them down by hand, as it really helps me to concentrate and remember the words. However, if you find this too time consuming, download a notes app so you can type as you commute to work or school. I recommend that you try to find some time to make a list during the beginning of the day, and then later in the evening, before you go to sleep, you review your list to reinforce the vocabulary in your mind. In terms of time, I recommend that you do this for 1 hour per day. Doing a little bit, but often is key. Okay, level 2, the intermediate stage. Once you feel ready, you can begin to include what I call the immersive method into your study routine. The idea is pretty straightforward. I want you to find high quality listening material in English. You can use a podcast or you can listen to a YouTube video without looking at the screen. The more natural and conversational, the better. So try to avoid things like audiobooks or the news. Ideally, you'll find an engaging series specifically created for people who are learning English. Personally, I would recommend Luke's English Podcast or Coffee Break English. Once you've found some suitable listening material, here's what I want you to do. There are 3 steps in total, so make sure you listen to all of them. Step 1. Every day, put on your headphones and listen to that program or video. And as soon as you do that, I want you to simply walk around outside. You can stroll around your neighborhood or maybe through a park and listen to the conversation in English as you do that. I have noticed that students who listen to something as they walk tend to listen for longer than those who just sit at a desk and study. Step 2. You can take a little break and sit down for this one. So I want you to grab that notebook or open the Notes app that you have downloaded on your phone. Also, I want you to find the transcript for the video or podcast. Most good podcasts come with a transcript for students to review. You should write down some phrases from that podcast that you want to use. To strengthen your understanding of new words or expressions, you need to be creative with them and put them into context. So here you're going from passive learning to active learning. Next, in your notebook or the Notes app, you need to describe what you have listened to and make an effort to use the new vocabulary that you have learnt. Try to think about it as a diary where you can write your thoughts and opinions on certain topics. This will also help you with fluency, as you will find it much easier to structure your thoughts as you speak. Now picture this. You've written a paragraph in English in your daily diary, trying to describe what you've listened to in your favorite podcast or YouTube video. But you want to make it sound more natural and polished. And that's where Quillbot steps in. Quillbot has various writing assistant tools, as you can see. Its paraphrasing and grammar checking tool are the ones that will revolutionize your English learning journey. So let's imagine you wrote something like this in your diary. Dear diary, today was a great day. I had a peaceful morning walk in the park, meeted up with old friends for a lovely lunch, and visited an art gallery in the afternoon. The evening was relaxed, reading a captivating novel. I feel grateful for these simple pleasures and can't wait for what tomorrow brings. Now you might have noticed that there are some grammar mistakes here. And if you're an English learner, you might find it hard to know how to correct them, even if you can feel or hear that there are mistakes. What you can do is go to Quillbot's user-friendly website and paste your text into the box. With just one click, Quillbot will analyze your text, retaining its original meaning while clearly showing you the mistakes you have made and offering you some solutions for them. So not only will you have a better paragraph, but you will also understand what you did wrong. You can see here that there are 6 mistakes. Quillbot tells me that I have used the wrong word. I have used a homophone. These 2 words sound the same, but one means something is very good, and the other one means to rub food against a grater in order to cut it into small pieces. So something completely different. If we have a look at another mistake, we can see that Quillbot has highlighted meted. This is a grammar mistake. Meted does not exist in English, as Quillbot has shown us. Met is the correct past form of the verb meet. You can also use Quillbot's Chrome extension, which means it's a perfect tool for when you're writing emails, writing essays, or simply studying English. As an English teacher, I know how vital flawless grammar is for effective communication. That's why Quillbot's free grammar checking feature is pure gold. Get instant feedback on your writing, ensuring sentences shine with accuracy and clarity. If you want to try it for yourself, click the link in the description below and let me know what you think. And the final step, step 3, you are going to work on pronunciation. So after you've listened to the full episode, I want you to review the transcript for the video or podcast again. In this step, you are going to practice shadowing. Shadowing is basically when you imitate or copy the intonation and pronunciation of a native speaker. So as you play the episode that you have chosen, read the sentences aloud after you hear the speaker say them. Repeat a sentence several times, as repetition is key to sounding more confident and natural in English. Now, let's delve into methods for reaching a more advanced level of proficiency, where you will genuinely feel fluent. Let's get straight to the point. Engaging in conversations with individuals who speak English is key. However, the question is, how can you do this in the most effective manner? The simplest approach is to use platforms like Preply or italki. Here you can pay a native speaker for an hour of their time via a video call platform. In my view, this investment is truly worthwhile. Nonetheless, if you have a preference for a cost-free option, there are some alternatives. For instance, you could go for an app like HelloTalk, which allows you to have unpaid language exchanges with native English speakers who want to learn your language. In other words, you will teach them how to speak your native language, and in return, they will help you to learn English. Of course, the internet isn't the only route. You can use another app called Meetup. They are now in most cities around the world, and they usually have language exchanges. You may even be able to do another activity or sport at the same time, which I think makes the learning process even more natural. Yet, here's a crucial point. Once you find a conversation partner you connect with, minimize the use of your native language. I understand that speaking for an entire hour in an unfamiliar language can be extremely uncomfortable or tiring. However, embracing such challenges accelerates the learning process as well as making you mentally stronger and ultimately more confident speaking in English. Remember, there's no need to fear making mistakes. They're actually beneficial since corrections improve your ability to avoid repeating the same errors in the future. Whenever I make a mistake in Spanish or Japanese, I try to have fun with it because it helps me to remember the situation and naturally I remember the mistake more, meaning I am less likely to make the same mistake again. Another thing you can do is to change any device that you use every day into English. So take your phone and switch it to English. This will be a little annoying at first because there are times when you want to do something quickly, like call a friend or maybe look for directions for somewhere. But after a few weeks, you will start using your phone without even noticing that it's in English. Let's say you like to cook. You should look for a recipe in English instead of your native language. Maybe you love playing video games. Make sure to put it into English. That way you are relaxing and also picking up new vocabulary at the same time. Well, that's everything for this video. I hope you found it valuable and you now have a clear understanding of what you need to do to improve your level of English by yourself. If you want to keep practicing your English, check out this video. This one here. Yep, click it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button. I'll see you next time.